Good morning, everyone. I'm going to take up the lesson The Tiger King by Kalki today. It is the second lesson from your supplementary reader, Vistas. Before we start the lesson, let me ask you a few questions. What's your opinion about wild animals? Should they be killed or protected? Why governments throughout the world are taking so many steps to protect wild animals from being extinct? Now, about the author. Kalki full name is Ramaswamy Iyer Krishnamurthy. Born in 1899, he died in 1954. He was a Tamil writer, film and music critic, and journalist. A few terms you should know before we read the lesson. Humor. It is a literary device that makes audience or readers laugh. Conceit. A literary device that compares two very dissimilar things. Irony. Irony is a literary device used to show contrast or incongruity. It shows expectation for a situation and what is reality. Dramatic irony. Irony where the audience knows something that the characters don't. Situational irony. Irony where the characters act and their actions produce an outcome opposite of what they wanted. Supernatural. Events or things that cannot be explained by science or that are assumed to come from otherworldly forces. Satire. Use of irony, humor, exaggerations, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in politics and other topical issues. Now, the theme of the lesson. The story The Tiger King is a satire on the conceit of those in power. It makes an earnest plea for the protection of tigers. You have just learned the terms satire and conceit. The story The Tiger King reveals the stupidity of those people who think themselves intellectual and powerful but fail to understand the basic facts of life. And the another theme of the lesson is the protection of tigers. Tigers are now endangered animals. If we don't save tigers, the day is not very far when they will be counted as extinct animals. Now let me start with the lesson, The Tiger King. The Maharaja of Prativandapuram is the hero of the story. He may be identified as the Highness Jamadar General, Khiledar Major Sata Vaigraha Samahari, Maharaja Dhiraja Vishabhuvana Samrat, Sir Jilani Jungjung Bahadur, MED SATC or CRCK. But this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. Well, the hero of the story is the Maharaja of Prativandapuram. And he has a big name. So, what is the irony in such a big name of the king? The author has certainly used exaggerations here just to make fun of people who want to show themselves more than what they are. You know, this is a common trait in many people around us. They are actually the laughingstocks. I have come forward to tell you what he came to be known as Tiger King. I have no intention of pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. Now, another exaggeration made by the author here is that he says he does not fear anybody while narrating the story of the Tiger King. In fact, the motive behind writing this story is to let people know why the Maharaja of Prativandapuram is called the Tiger King. Even a Stuka bomber cannot frighten him. Now, what is a Stuka bomber? See the image on the screen. It is a bomber aircraft used by the Germany during the Second World War for dropping bombs on the enemy countries. So, where the author is using the term Stuka bomber, what he wants to mean is that he is not frightened by any forces in narrating the tale of the Tiger King. In fact, the Stuka itself can retreat from his story. Right at the start, it is imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage face to face. But there is no chance of its fulfillment. As Bharata said to Rama about Dasarath, the Tiger King has reached that final abode of all living creatures. Well, after arousing the curiosity in the mind of the readers, the writer also says that it is impossible to meet the Tiger King now, as he has reached the abode where King Dasaratha has reached now. That is, in other words, the Tiger King is now dead. The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had foretold that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. Now, here too, the writer used humor in the sense that it is not unknown to anybody that when one is born, he used to die one day. But the foolish astrologers predicted that the new prince will die one day. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions, but they bite their lips and swallowed hard. The astrologers predicted something else too. Even if the prince will become a great king one day, but it seems there is some danger in his life. When compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with it. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under the star will one day have to meet its death. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jungjung Bahadur. O wise prophets! Everyone stood, transfixed in stupefaction. Well, everybody was stunned to hear words coming out from a 10-day-old baby. They looked wildly at each other and blinked. O wise prophets, it was I who spoke. This time there were no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the words so clearly. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the baby. The chief astrologer gave a deep look at the baby as he could not believe his eyes. All those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of their death. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. Squeaky here means a high-pitched sound. The baby said that there was nothing extraordinary to say that he would die one day. Only he wanted to know how he would die. The chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder. A baby barely 10 days old opens its lips in speech. Not only that, it also raises intelligent questions, incredible. Rather like the bulletins issued by the War Office than facts. The chief astrologer took off his finger off his nose and fixed his eyes upon the little prince. The prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies, therefore the death comes from the tiger, he explained. So, according to the chief astrologer, the king was going to die by a tiger, as he was born in the hour of the bull and the tiger are enemies. You may think that Crown Prince Jungjung Bahadur was thrown into a quake when he heard the word tiger. That was exactly what did not happen. As soon as he heard it pronounced, the Crown Prince gave a deep growl. Well, there is a similarity between the Crown Prince giving a deep growl and the growl of a tiger. Terrifying words emerged from his lips. Let tigers beware. Instead of getting frightened to hear that he would die by a tiger, he threatened all the tigers in his state. This account is only a rumor rife in Pratibandhapuram. But with the hindsight, we may conclude it was based on some truth. So very soon, the rumor spread throughout the kingdom that the crown prince could talk when he was only 10 days old, and he could predict his own death, and at the same time the tigers in his kingdom are at dangers. Now there are some questions and answers. Question number 1. What was the miracle that took place in the royal palace? The answer is, when the Maharaja was a 10-day-old infant, he spoke and asked intelligent questions about his death. Question number 2. What was the chief astrologer's prediction about the young Raja? The answer is, he would die by a tiger. Question number 3. What was the logic behind his thinking? Answer. The prince was born in the hour of the bull. The tiger and the bull are enemies. Therefore, death comes from the tiger. Question number 4. What was the young prince's reaction at that? Answer. He warned the tigers about their impending death soon. So students, now there is a home assignment for you. After reading the first part of the lesson, specially read the lines which are underlined and then try to answer this question. What was the miracle that took place at the palace? Do you feel it is supernatural? Well, you write the answer and show me. Thank you.